Welcome back.
Welcome back to CEO Chat. This guy's Joe Assaman.
And that's Alcini.
And that guy over there is Tom Scurria.
Hi, Tom.
And he's a fly fisherman, and he's a seasoned business expert. And before the break, you were just finishing up an idea about getting everything in alignment. Maybe you could finish up.
Yeah, again, going back to how I kind of opened the project or the show is this whole fly fishing was the visual to me.
Right.
To me, that's an organization.
Right.
And getting everything rolling the same way. And the way you do that is, again, by the strategy planning concept. The first thing, literally I would do, or our company would come in, is let's first take a look at the strategic plan and strategy. Do you have a plan, first of all? And if it is a plan, is it reasonable? Does it do all those things, basic strategic plan? Look at the product, look at the market, look at the mission, and then the vision. Look at the resources, do a SWOT analysis, understand what the customer, more and heavy amount of this is on looking at customer side, what's valuable to the customer.
Now, who's typically going to call you in, Tom? Would it be a CFO or a CEO?
It would be, I would call it the economic buyer, which would tend to be a CEO of a small company or the founder.
Okay.
Could be a CFO, but I'm saying would tend to be the economic buyer.
Start right at the top.
Who's at that tipping point. I think we mentioned earlier some of the issues. They've got challenges. The message's not getting out there. There's a clash of culture. They got cash flow issues, and with the wild economy of the last 8, 9, 10 years,
A lot of companies fall in that category.
or you're trying to say, do I make this cash flow investment? Do I make this next stair-step investment?
Okay.
So, it's understanding that piece. So if you got a good plan, a good strategic plan.
Let me ask you a question. Sure. How do you address a CEO or a founder or whatever who has a strategic plan that isn't correct or it doesn't make sense?
Honesty.
Oh, so okay.
One of the things people often ask me, who's your ideal client?
Right.
I want somebody at the tipping point who's got these issues, who's got fire in their belly, who appreciates being challenged and has honesty, and he's an economic buyer. So it's in a situation like that, and I've had people come up to me and lay out a vision and plan. They want to do something, and I'm saying, it's not going to work. Okay. There isn't enough. In that market, there isn't enough people, or whatever you're trying to sell or service. I look at things for years. I looked at acquisitions 3 ways: is it unique? Is it sustainable or valuable?
Okay.
And it's really almost a Morningstar kind of concept. I don't know if you understand what a Morningstar is. It's a stock analysis, the moat concept. And if you're not strong in all 3 of those, you probably should not pursue it. I mean, you might have a great vision, but is the product or service unique enough? In that also you can kind of protect it from competition. Is it valuable? It adds value to the customer. From a customer, they're going to want it.
So if I'm having a problem with sales traction or sales growth, I could call you and you would help me with that?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to tie it back to the kind of specific issues that people might be having. So if they're watching the program and they're not happy with their sales performance, they should call you and you can help them with a sales strategy. They might have a production problem.
But I want to be clear on the sales strategy. I want to deal just step back. When somebody typically says, "I've got a want," they really have a need.
Right.
And the need may be at a more strategic level.
Okay.
It may be a product level, maybe a vision level. So it's not the sales necessarily strategy. Let's deal at the strategic level.
Right.
Okay.
Rather than the tactical and implementing the sales tactic point. Because typically people will express what they want.
Okay.
We all do it.
I want more sales, but
but they don't really know what that
problems may be deeper
needs.
than that.
Right.
Maybe my product isn't that good. Maybe it's got flaws.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe my service delivery is poor. It's all those kinds of things. Those things tend to be systemic. I mean, when I say systemic, they're the system of what's going on. Typically, it's what's the real need.
Okay, now we have a little bit of time left in this segment, but we can continue into the next segment. Where does this come from in your experience? I mean, what gives you the background to solve these problems for people?
Okay, I've had a very blessed career. I'll probably show how long my tooth is when I start telling this. But I came out as a very naive, dumb person out of college and in public accounting and didn't know the world.
Like all of us.
Yeah, like all of us. Went in, spent 4 years in an old firm called Haskins & Sells, which became ultimately Deloitte & Touche many moons ago. Moved into Aramark, which was an absolutely blessed experience for me from a career standpoint, and moved there in 1981. Very entrepreneurial company, it was a wild economy, interest rates were high, they were growing like crazy. I moved into the treasury group out of accounting just before the leverage buyout in 1984. I was managing their pension assets. They had about a $450 million master trust.
Right.
Sometime in mid-1984, there was an unfriendly takeover attempt from one of the prior presidents. They fought it off. And Joe Neubauer and the team pulled off an unbelievable, in like 99 days, a leverage buyout for $1 billion.
Okay.
And this is the go-go days. If you remember back then, you had Drexel Burnham, you had junk bonds, the market was phenomenal.
Sure.
So it was a real exciting time. Then, my job after that was continuing the pension assets, handling the pension assets, but also got involved with hedging the bank debt with interest rate swaps and futures. Shortly after I wasn't involved with the first round of the buyout from an ownership perspective, but shortly after that, and this is where Joe Neubauer was brilliant. This is why Aramark was so has been so successful. He made everybody the next level down to buy in. So here I am, a 30-year-old guy, own a house, probably worth 80 grand. I got a wife and kids, and they said, "Well, you got to borrow $40-something thousand to mortgage your house again. It's already mortgaged. You're going to buy stock." Well, let me tell you, when somebody tells you that and you don't have the experience background,
Right.
every decision you make from that point forward is all focused about value.
Is all about value.
It's trying to eliminate all the stuff that doesn't add value.
Right.
Okay.
Am I going to add value? Am I going to add cash value? Whatever you
Right.
want to call it to the corporation. So that
Right.
was a real eye-opening. It was a great career. I mean, a great situation. I then moved into their corporate planning group, so I got into this whole planning, strategic business planning mode. We helped the operations. They were getting more sophisticated with that.
Okay.
Had a lot of opportunity to look at capital projects and projects across things. So that was a great experience. I did a lot of M&A work.
Okay.
And then actually moved down to the operations, which I really wanted.
Right.
Right.
I was VP in planning for the sports and entertainment division. At the time in 91, I think it was about a $300 million company. We grew it to about $1 billion. I won't take credit for that, but we did a lot of acquisitions
We
and
had to keep
organic
up with
growth.
that. So, right.
But now all those business plans that were somebody else's that I was reviewing, that were now mine.
Right.
Real ownership,
Yeah, it
trust
makes a
me.
real
there you
difference.
go.
Because
That's
now
ownership.
I have to go to the chairman of the board or senior management and present.
Uh-huh.
Great experience. Talk about ownership, and
No, that's really.
my behind's on the line.
Okay, now we're coming up on another
Sure.
break. We'll be back in a minute or so with more Tom Scurria.